105 bucks. Take us to the last match. What was going through your mind? What were you feeling?
I mean, Carter's just a beast, you know. He's good. He's really hard in every position. Keeps really good position. Hard to get to. You know, it's just like when you know you're in a room like what we have at Nittany Wrestling Club, Penn State, like you're gonna have the two best guys in the world. You know, obviously Zahid's there. There's really good guys. I know how good Carter is, and just to train side by side with him, it's just like, all right, I got to get in there. You know, he's the kind of kid that is, you know, he says all day work. It's true. I mean, he's in there all the time. So, you know, 6 seconds left. Keep your hands down, probably for me. You know, a little bit of strategy at the end there. Thinking, you know, 1 point, step out. They haven't been calling caution in one very much. They made a point to call it this time. So hopefully they continue to do that and just call it normal. But, you know, hats off to him. And, yeah, close takedown at the end. Luckily, I got a chest wrap the whole time. And, yeah, just really thankful, you know, just a big transition for me the past year and a half. You know, just everything was going on with my dad, and thinking that I had a lot of the answers, and finding out that I don't, you know. And I've grown a lot in my faith. I found Jesus, and you know, he's been a huge part in me being able to grieve and heal. So I'm super thankful for that. And it's interesting just because it was my own journey. You know, I had something pretty terrible had to happen for me to get there. And if there is a silver lining, it's that.
The man of the match, you get the go-ahead takedown in the second period. Carter responds with that step out and the fling there. And then it comes down that final exchange, and you're left with a referee's decision to decide everything. You've been in situations like that before where you have to pace along the mat and just wait for a decision to be made. What's going through your head this time?
You know, just like, hopefully they have the right camera angles, you know, so they can see whether I did expose or I didn't, or whether I did fall to my hip and let go or not. We wrestled probably 5 seconds after the whistle went off, and the guy basically had to peel us apart from each other because neither one of us wanted to concede. So, yeah.
The year that leading up to this, the weight change, and you've been at 86 before, no stranger to it, but that was some time ago. So, and then obviously this is a physical tournament. We can see all the bruises and everything. So, what's the body feel like? How do you feel about this process of moving up to 86?
I feel good. You know, like I feel like I have energy that I can get out there and go. The one thing that I've noticed is that because I have more energy, I feel that like adrenaline pump a little bit more rather than just being like tired from cutting so much weight. But yeah, no, it was a cool process. I knew I didn't want to be done after the Olympics, and in 2016 when I went to 86, it was night before weigh-in, so it was a lot different than it is now. You know, 2-hour weigh-in, and just go out and wrestle, and that's something that, you know, I wrestle big guys. It's, you know, still kind of getting comfortable going under them, and you know, I'm there. But when you wrestle, you know, elite guys, and you know, they'll make you pay. Carter's one of the best re-attackers in the world, if not, you know, he's up there. You know, if you shoot on him and make a bad shot, he's going to make you pay for it. He's really good at finding your ankles, and you know, heavy hips, baseline. He's really good at that. So yeah, just I had to be sharp, and fortunately, and came out in my favor.
Did you know that shot, that swim high speed to get that takedown, had to be exact on the money?
Yeah, I knew where I had to put my ear. You know, and that's something that you kind of just try to find little things. I was watching a baseball player talk about where he looks at a pitcher when he's hitting, and he says, you know, when a guy's throwing, if it's up here, if you're righty, he would just be looking where he thought the ball would be, and then he got a tip to look at the pitcher's hat. So he looked at the pitcher's hat, and then he would just shift his eyes over as soon as he felt the arm come up. So it's just like where you aim small, miss small kind of thing. So, you know, I know where I have to put my ear to get there. I know where his arm has to be, and if it's there, I go.
Yeah, that executed perfectly, so obviously worked. And then you mentioned Zahid, you already had a crack at him, and now you get at least another two.
Yeah.
Final X. Any other thoughts on him as an opponent?
he's really good too. You know, I feel like he's a bronze medalist. He was right there last year at the Olympic trials with Aaron, and you know, he's a really good competitor. So I just got to go out and score points and you know, go get him.
Thank you for checking in.
Thanks.
Thanks, Kyle.